do anything and everything that I put out there. And if you
Hmm.
don't know, you will direct me to someone. So when people talk to me about hiring you, I feel like that your value is so much more than what you charge people to work with you because you are in and about everything. It's just like whatever the conversation needs to be for the day. And I think that's why we talk every single day, is because I
Hmm.
do have pressing questions. I need answers, and I can always go to you and say, what do you think about this? Or should we do this way? And I appreciate you and the effort that you have literally learned everything you can learn. You've got so much knowledge of the way the business world works, and I just appreciate that. And that's exactly why I want to get you out there so people can see you are going to help them. You're going to help them, and if you can't, you'll tell them you can't, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I think, and trust me, I have much to learn, right? Because I started a business at 18 years old, and I think what a lot of my clients have as maybe something stopping them because they have a mortgage and responsibility and a family. I think of that as an asset now that I have a family and, a fiance and everything. But I think starting at 18, I have nothing to lose. I have no money anyway. So I might as well just dive in and figure everything out. But like you're saying, what I help my clients with, that's why I don't love the pigeonhole of like marketing consultant or this or that, because you could have great marketing, but then you don't, like we're saying, you don't have the right contract. You don't know how to sell. Once you get leads, you don't know how to set up the website or other things. So there's all these different pieces of your business, marketing and sales and client delivery and planning, financial management, like all these different things that we've worked on. So when I work with clients, it's really an A to Z approach. That's why sometimes they're like, but what do you do? Like, what is the focus? And it has to be everything, because if one thing is out of line or one thing isn't aligned correctly with the entire system, then it's all going to fall apart. And so, like as an example, working with you, you started with me at zero, no revenue yet, no clientele. You had a vision, right? But not necessarily something that was already running smoothly. And I think of that as an asset, because when I work with clients starting out, they're open-minded, they're open to learning, they're a little more hands-off in the beginning. Whereas a client who maybe has had some success, they're a little more, oh yeah, I've done that before. Or no, I know that. And they're a little more, it takes more time to get through them. But you from the start, very open-minded. But even then, we had to build your marketing. So where's the traffic going to come from? Because you are amazing and people love you. But if they didn't know how to find you, if they didn't know how to reach you, then nobody would know Christy Van or Fantastic Finances. So we built out your YouTube, because that's where you're going to reach people. I think that's where I focus on with all my clients, but you're different than my client who's a plastic surgeon, or my client who's a lawyer, my client who has, another type of coaching business. Everybody's different in terms of where are they going to get the traffic, right? Because look at you. You have, I think, 21 or 22 million views in total on YouTube, right? So out of those views, you have 322,000 or so subscribers. So that's a big number, 22 million views, a smaller number, 322,000 subscribers. And then how many customers do you think you've had? Like maybe 1,000,
A lot.
somewhere around there. Like it sounds like a lot, but you're like, well, I had 22 million views.
Yeah.
That's a small percentage of them who actually converted. So I think the math that people need to do in their head is, okay, well, if I want to get 100,000 in revenue, whether that's per month or per year, whatever it may be, okay, well, how many customers is that? Where am I going to get that traffic from? That's where most people falter. So every client I work with, it is ultimately building that marketing foundation. Then, okay, now that we're getting all this traffic, how do we convert that into revenue and deliver a great service and get them to come back? So like you're saying, it's really an A to Z approach, because I've worked with, over 1,000 clients at least. I've spoken to probably 10,000 either existing entrepreneurs or prospective entrepreneurs. And I think the commonality that you have with my most successful clients is that, number one, you have a long-term vision. I think a lot of people that work with me, maybe they see your success or mine or other people, and secretly they still have the idea that in 3 months, I'm going to have massive progress. And that's why I tell people the first year of any new business, you're really just building a foundation. Like if you see any success, you're pretty much an outlier, not the average, not the mean. And so you're 2 years into this. Right now, you're seeing big success and you're still going to keep growing. I'm almost 9 years into what I'm doing. I'm still figuring things out. Right. So I think the most commonality is that you look at it like a journey, not a destination. Like 6 months in, I better be here or it's not going to work. It's a failure. So long-term vision, but you also never stop taking action. People want your success, Christy, but they don't want to make 1,200 videos. I think that's how many you have on your channel. So, and you probably have many that, are private, haven't seen the day of light. You've done webinars. So think of all the work you've put in. People want that success that you've had, but once they put out 12 videos, and they're not super successful, they're like, oh, it doesn't work, or the market's saturated, and they start to look externally and how it's someone else's fault or the market's fault when there's always room for opportunity. Look at you. Maybe you could have thought, oh, Dave Ramsey, like he's from Tennessee. He talks about personal finance, not the same thing you do, but you could have made that kind of self-doubt objection and then said, oh, I'm not going to do this. But you said, okay, he can do his thing, but I know there's room for what I have to offer. And it's not an ego thing. You're extremely humble. It's like, I want to help people. And I know a lot of people need the help. So I'm going to do it, even in the face of a lot of uncertainty and self-doubt. So no, trust me, I can do my best, but you take it to the next level with what you did working with me. So it's been amazing.
It has been amazing. And, I remember when we first started talking about videos, I told you I did not want to do that. I still don't like doing videos. It's a lot of work. Putting a video together, even just an 8 to 10 minute video, to me is a lot of work because I have to make sure those numbers are right. I have to make sure, my eyeliner is not switched over. I mean, there's all kinds of things, and the light against a whiteboard is insane. I remember all the way back, though, you're the one that told me, what lights I needed to get, what camera I could use, what programs I needed on my computer. I mean, every detailed thing that I had no clue about, I would ask you, and you are the one that helped me set it up, and even my websites. And like I said, you're into setting up the payment processors that I use and everything. So people, when I'm talking to you about Alex, I am saying this person can help you in every business aspect that you're even thinking that you're going to be moving into, just because he has a lot of wisdom just from where you've been working with so many people in so many different areas. Another thing is, I feel like that when you work with a person, you're personable. You're not, I've had coaches in the past that, you had that one phone call per month, and then once it was over, you didn't hear from them for the next month. And you've never been that person. The more I dove into what I was doing, the further you went in with me. So I think that we're a good team because we're both very motivated to do what we're doing. But you're right. It does take my time, and my husband and my family have really been put on the back burner sometimes, because when you're running a business, or when you're definitely trying to get one up and running, it is work. And I'm not going to act like it's not. It's very time consuming. And I mean, I can work from the time I get up until 3 o'clock in the morning and get up and do it again at 7. So it's constant work. And I don't want people to think that, oh, yeah, that it just came so easy to her. No, it didn't. It's been a lot of trial and error. It's been a lot of, emails, and you've even set up my calendars, and you've done things like that. And you have made it to where I've got organization, but it's still, you hit the ground running. And especially when you have decided to come out of the corporate world and depend upon yourself for, okay, I have to make this happen. It's a make or break. That's where the prayer comes in. That's where, the favor of the Lord really, really helped, because I don't know why the channel took off like it did. My desire was just to help people. And to bring some financial peace, because I knew how upset I was the whole time I was stressing out about the debt. And that feeling, I don't want anybody to have that overwhelmed, weighed down, depressed, there's no hope feeling. And, going into 2025, I've set a theme that we're going to thrive in 2025. And, we pour no more in 2024. Now it's time to move up. That's where you come in. That's where the other teams come in that, offer the wealth building and stuff like that, is because we want to eliminate debt, but we also want to grow. And people out there that is little nobodies like me in a little county in a state that's one of the poorest states in the United States. If I can do it, you can do it. You just got to get up and do it. And it's an amazing ride. If you can't see that by looking at my life, then take another look, because I'm not coming out of a wealthy family. I'm not coming out of, somebody left me $100,000 and said, go make something with it. Have been a single parent a lot of my life and had to make it work. Velocity Banking was my answer financially. So, all glory to God with everything I say here, because I'm not leaving him out. But Alex, I swear, I believe that that's where we connected, was that divine intervention there to bring two people with the same heart towards people, to help people and to see people, lifted up. And I appreciate you, because I think you're very, very good at what you do. I will never backstep from that, because from the day that we started working together until today, you have astonished me with your desire to help me grow. And I appreciate that so much.
No, I really appreciate that too. And like I said, you've been a great client, and I've worked with so many other, great people. Like you've even connected me with, JJ the CPA. I worked with Stephen Gardner, like people that, like I'm saying, like I'm the student with them. I help them with certain things, but they're way bigger than I am currently. But I think when it comes to a lot of the people that either you send me and I speak with personally, or that I just speak with in general, I think as kids, we all had a dream. And like you mentioned, divine intervention. Like I think God is always there, always stable, as long as we're there with him. But I think as kids, we all had a dream, even if it's far-fetched. Like maybe I wanted to be an NBA player, or maybe you want to be this, or other people want to do other things. But I think it's the real world and almost the devil that then over time just breaks us down from our dreams, because they're always there. They're always possible, whatever dream or vision that you have. But I think people let the devil, and they let, again, their kind of now circumstances dictate how the future is going to be. But it's like your, past, your biography doesn't mean that that has to be your future. So I think that's a lot of the equation, because of course, marketing funnels and how we're going to generate revenue, like that is a big portion of what I help with. But ultimately, unless people really think that this has a high likelihood of achievement, if I put the work in their own mind when they go to sleep at night, they're never going to get started, right? Because even with you, maybe you thought, oh, this could work or this can't work. We'll find out though. And I'm going to do everything I can to control that. I think some people, they don't even give themselves a shot. They're like, this is never going to work. What about this? And what about that? And, I hear that a lot from people. So I want to, if you could just share, Christy, what's your advice for them? Of course, on, maybe working with me or not, like that's a different story. But I think just on why do people not follow their dreams and what really holds them back?
It is the fear of failure. It's the
Mm-hmm.
fear of getting made fun of. And, I had that really, really bad, especially when it came to putting videos on YouTube. You're like, okay, this is going to go out into my community, and
Mm-hmm.
all of the people are going to think she's a weirdo. I mean, that was literally what it was. And now I could really care less, because
Mm-hmm.
I have seen the effect that the channel has had on people all over the world. I have so many testimonies in a day. That is what gets me up and keeps me going, is because I know people are getting value and help that they desperately need. It's been such a journey that once you're into that passion, uh, you don't need motivation from people anymore. It's like the passion's flowing, and I know what I'm put on this earth to do at this time. I remember in my 30s, and I want to encourage older people. Because we get older and we're like, oh, I've got 40 years behind me, and here I am, have nothing to show for it. I was there. I know what that looks like. I started in my 30s. I started having these granular ideas of
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be speaking in front of people. And had I known that this was what the Lord was trying to show me, I would have got busy back then starting to really find the passion and what was I going to be doing. And then Velocity Banking came in at the same exact time that I started having these, and I put it off for 10 years. before I would even think about teaching people about velocity banking. So when I'm speaking to the older crowd, I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50, 60 years old and you sit, thinking you're out of time. I don't think we're out of time until it's over. I think that we are to work and move and go and strive and grow until we die, and whenever that is. So I want older people to realize that if you've got something in your mind that you have always felt a drive to do, for goodness sake, jump out there and do it. You just don't know until you try. And I feel like that anything that we have a desire to do, and you're in the Lord's going to help you move to your desire, because He wants us all to be successful. He's very clear. He didn't put us down here to get up, get ready for work, go to work, sit for 8 hours, come home, get the kids a bath, get supper, go to bed, get up, and do it again. I hated that life. I hated that because I felt like that I was just in a rut, and a rut is nothing but a grave with the ends dug out. And we got to come out of that. You and I together are trying to motivate people to get up and get moving and help people. That's the thing. Find that thing in you that you were given so that you could get out and help somebody else have a better day. Literally what you need to be doing. And that's my prayer with my daughter as we go to school. We pray every morning. And my prayer is, Lord, show us who needs help today, how we can help them, and help us to look for the opportunities, because they're all around us. And, I feel like that you push me by when you send me the text, hey, do you want to work on this email, or do you want to, look at this class? And, we've got so many things. I've got so many sticks in the fire that I can't, they're all burning out. So I just feel like that if people realize how inspirational that you are, and how your desire is to grow people. And that's not just business, because our relationship, like I said, it's more than business now. Thank the Lord Scott paid your fees, is all I can say.
I'll jump in and mention that because unfortunately, I do speak with a lot of people, whether it's a husband or a wife, and they watch all your videos or they watch all of mine, and they're so excited to build their business. And they're like, I'm going to talk to my husband or my wife and I'll let you know tomorrow. And then they say, oh, sorry, they said it's not going to work. They said I'm not good enough to do it. You should hear the things that people tell me. And it's unfortunate, but sometimes, again, it's people's relationship. I'm not a relationship coach, but sometimes you got to be like, honey, I've done my research. I know what I'm getting into, support me or not. But sometimes you just have to do things for yourself, because most spouses, unfortunately, aren't like Scott, who is hyper supportive and even gave you like the final approval. Like, you got to go, like, no time better than the present. So again, for people out there that are thinking about it or want to build their business, 2025 could be your year, but maybe this past year could have been as well. And it's kind of kicking the can down the road in perpetuity for a lot of people who have great vision, and they overestimate the risk and they underestimate the opportunity. So sometimes you just have to say, you know what, I'm going to dive in. I'm going to 100% commit. And if you do that with or without me or Christy or anybody in whatever you're doing, it's very hard to not be successful.
Yeah. And, I've been in the situation with the spouse that didn't want me to accomplish anything. So, had this happened back then, he would have knocked it down and absolutely been against it. So I get it. And I hope that we're not talking to people that are in that situation, but I came out of that too. It's important that if you're in a toxic relationship, that you do get out and become who you were meant to be. But yeah, my husband, he's like the van in Fantastic, right? But I appreciate you coming on here today, Alex. I love talking to you. We just have a spectacular relationship, I feel like. And, you and Grace and Scott and all of us together, we just have a good time when we do get together. And I can't wait to do that in March. I know we're meeting.
I was going to say, yeah, it's going to be sometime. I guess that's like in a few months. So no, I'm really excited. But no, thanks so much for having me on. And of course, if anybody's watching and want to have a conversation with me, the link will be somewhere like on the screen or in the description. And it's a free, consultation. I'd love to chat with you guys. And like she said, if I can help you, I will let you know. And if it's not the right time, or if you're just not the perfect fit, I'll still give you some advice, and you can kill it on your own. But no, thank you so much for having me on, and I appreciate you as always.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And guys, like he said, there's going to be a link in the description. Please give him a call. It's just a consultation, and he's going to have a conversation with you about what your desire is, what your goal is, or maybe even just a thought that you're having about something that you would like to do. Because sometimes you need to talk that out, and he's really, really good about building you up. And that's what I absolutely love about you. So thank you again for coming on. And I appreciate everybody for joining us and listening to us talk a little bit about business, what it looks like, and what it may do for you to be able to finally take that jump that you are wanting to take to get into your own self-employment, where that you're working for yourself and you're doing exactly what you're put on this earth to do. So I hope that you got value out of this video today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.